Numbers are not subjective. Numbers are objective when you deal with numerology. It's not a subjective thing. It's not subjecting you to be this and be that. It gives you the high and low, and either you could be rising to your highest, going towards your lowest, or staying complacent. And I always tell people, comfort is the enemy of progress.
Ooh. Good people, what's up, what's good? We are back for another edition of the 3 Milli Podcast, man. Blessed to be your host, Caleb Smith. Shout out to Village Gemz, man, here in the Stone Mountain area for letting us pull up. And today we have a very special guest. And also make sure to shop at Village Gemz, show them love, Miss Jasmine, everybody. To the left of me, I got King Simon, a legend, man. I've been following him for years. He dropped so many gems on numerology, everything, and he does it in such a beautiful way. King Simon, man, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. I'm honored to be here on 3 Milli Podcast.
Thank you.
You know, it's always good because this is things that I used to do when I was younger. So it's exciting to me.
Yes, sir.
I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Yes,
and
sir.
Thanks to you and your whole family crew.
Yeah.
I call it the family crew.
Yeah,
because
most
that's how
definitely.
you're supposed to look at it.
Most
it's family
definitely.
crew, which is powerful. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
proud of y'all, and I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of what y'all doing as far
Thank
as a unit. Keep on doing what you're doing because this is very important time that we got to learn to express ourselves, but also build the family connection in the podcast world in
Wow.
the next millennium. And,
Wow.
you know, praying that my children and my children's children take it into that legacy that, you know, because I know at least one or two of them going to pull
Yeah.
out and do what they got to do
Yes,
in the
sir.
same field. I don't know if they're going to do what I did,
Yeah.
but as long as they do it the way they do it, like Frank Sinatra said, do it your way.
That's
I
right.
did it my way. That's how
Yes,
you got to
sir.
do it sometimes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amen to that.
Yes, sir.
Y'all, man, King Simon, his energy, as expected, man, it's amazing. When we first met him, beautiful soul.
Yes, sir.
King Simon, man, again, thank you.
Yes, no
And starting off, numbers are simple, but people complicated. If you can, break that down for us. Look, y'all, he has all the books.
Stop playing.
Got the shades. We ready.
The
Got
book
the
is here.
shades.
The book
Hey,
is
let's
here.
talk about it. Let's
The book
talk
is
about
here.
it.
Well, that is my first numerology book, but my actual first book was this book.
Yes, sir.
No promotion is bad promotion.
Yes, sir.
All publicity is good publicity. Just spell my name right. Now, these two different titles came from two different people that I really studied. One of them I actually met. No promotion is bad promotion was a statement that Frankie Crocker, the late great Frankie Crocker, who was revolutionary in promoting FM radio back
Wow.
in New York days.
Wow.
And he was also on a station that I also ended up being on after he transitioned. But he said no promotion is bad promotion after getting into something controversial.
Yeah.
And just spell my name right. And then when I remixed the book, I called it, and that's what I named it first. No promotion is bad promotion. Just spell
Wow.
my name right. Then when I did the revised version of the book, I called it No Promotion is Bad Promotion and All Publicity is Good Publicity. Just spell my name right. Quoting the late great Eazy-E,
Yes, sir.
who said no, all publicity is good publicity. So keeping those two, you know, showing you, of course, Frankie Crocker being born on December the 18th, which I understand why he said what he said from that perspective, because number 18s in numerology, why I say numbers are simple, people are complicated,
Yes, sir.
is one of the numbers that say what they mean and mean what they say. So people born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month, always, if you want the truth about your music and any other
gonna
bull
give it to
crap
you,
that
right?
you might be pulling out, they're going to say, sorry.
It's trash.
That's what it is. And Frankie Crocker was that person. But
Wow.
Eazy-E being born on the 7th of September, what's so interesting about that, for him to say all publicity is good publicity after watching what they was doing to the CDs that the people was
That's
buying
right.
and smashing and,
Yeah,
you know, trying to disrespect hip hop at that time, the growing rap game at that time. He's seen a bigger picture, and that's what the sevens do. They look for the bigger picture. They look deeper in and seen. And then he said, all publicity is good publicity. I didn't buy it. They bought it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I looked at, I studied celebrities. I studied my family, and no promotion, bad promotion. No, I mean, Numbers are Simple, People Are Complicated was a book that that came out of the love and the culmination of love after years of really talking about it, but never really going into it, because I was really introduced to numbers through my grandmother, who loved birthdays.
Wow.
And was all about birthdays. You know, those who are old enough, beyond the millenniums, you know, millennial people, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of the grandparents used to have boxes of cards for every holiday. And that my grandmother had boxes of cards for every holiday, birthday. Even if you were Jewish and you used to work with her, guess what? She got a card for the Hanukkah, and she'll send you a Hanukkah card. So I used to always observe that since I was a child, and she always had myself, my cousin, and my sister run to the mailbox before a certain time so the mail can get there at a certain time, on time for their birthday. So she was one of those people being born on the 22nd of June, that master number energy. And ironically, my father's mother, that was my father's mother, but my father's father was born December 22nd. So I seen the connection between them two from an early age. But then understanding when I grew up to really understand what numbers, that's when I was in the part of the nation, 5% nation. Wow. I was in the 5% nation, and they used to talk about the mathematics. Yeah. Mathematics is this. But before that, the Bible always spoke about numbers. 666. Yeah. God created the earth in 6 days, rested on the seventh. That's correct. And then there's a book of numbers. Go figure.
That is true. I never thought of it like that.
Nobody never thought. As a matter of fact, there's never a sermon that I've ever seen a preacher done in my life. Wow. In my opinion, I've never seen, from my perspective in my life, I've never seen a preacher do a sermon on the book of numbers and why there's a census, or why Israel was numbered, and why they gave it semblance and order. I've read part of the books of numbers, so I see where it was going.
Got 12 tribes.
12 tribes, the whole breastplate of all the stuff, why the count was, what was important about the first census, according to the Bible. That was the first census, the count that we do in neighborhoods. But I've been, studying this from a long time, and numbers have been following me for a long time. And then when I left the 5%, or let's say graduated from the 5%, I went to a Muslim community called the Ansarullah community, where he taught from a more Black Arab perspective. And he taught in regards to how to use the numbers connected to the Quran or connected to the science of what Arabia used to teach. The ancient Arabians, which they said was originally the Semitic or darker hue people, that those people taught a system called Abjad. And Abjad is one of the so-called fortune telling, but it's really a mathematical science that it seems like it's fortune telling, but it's not fortune telling. It's just that it's such a good applied science and applied mathematics from a spiritual that you'll think it's it's like a psychic. But numerology is not psychic at all. I want to let the family know here on 3 Millennia, it's not a psychic. It's just like the GPS you use. You put in the right address, which with us as a numerologist, you give us your birthday and your name, and we triangulate what's going on in your life, and we take you up the high road or the low road, give you a breakdown of the interpretation of numbers, whether it's positive or negative, is what you do with it. That's why I always tell people, numbers is not here to be worshiped. It's here to be used as a guide, just like your GPS. So moving forward from out of the Ansar, after I learned about the number 19 and over it is 19 and all that, I went into the Nation of Islam, where they taught about the mathematics of it. 1 equals knowledge, 2 equals wisdom, 3 equals understanding, and so on and so forth. So when I got that understanding from the 5% who was doing that, but got it from the lessons of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the honorable Elijah Muhammad always said that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. It always stands true, but Islam is a way of life. So if Islam is a way of life, then we're saying that life is mathematics. And then when you go back to Galileo, Pythagoras, Isaac Newton, all the great people that they call as forefathers in the mathematics and the science of different things, they say that the universe is mathematics. But yet Pythagoras, who they call the father of numbers, he said he studied for 22 years in Africa and India and different, and then came back and became the father of numbers. True. So what did he study when he was in those countries? What did he study in? And even people like Neil deGrasse Tyson pointed that out one time. Another scientist named James Gates, also pointed that out. Matter of fact, I just bought a book by the string theorist Sylvester Gates, proving Einstein right. Because I study all these different types of things. Nikola Tesla, I study the Stephen Hawking, I study all of them to become a better numerologist, because I understand the mathematics is important, and I'm about being a numerovator, because I'm like to guide people with the numbers. So basically that's how this book came about. No, numbers are simple, people are complicated. Let's explain the basic, because numbers are always going to be simple. You could always add 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + plus 2 equals 3. 3 plus 6 equals 9. But when it comes to the human elements connected to the vibration of the numbers, because of what we went through with our families and what we went through our past, sometimes we bring the trauma and not just, because numbers are not subjective. Numbers are objective when you deal with numerology. It's not a subjective thing. It's not subjecting you to be this and be that. It gives you the high and low, and either you could be rising to your highest, going towards your lowest, or staying complacent. And I always tell people, comfort is the enemy of progress. Ooh. So stay focused, and at least if you come to somebody like me and do a session with me, I'm going to help you to maximize and activate it to be your best and live your best life as much as you possibly can. But again, at the end of the day, it's all up to you and how you use the GPS, because I see people using GPS. You know where you live, but you still want to hear the sound of the GPS. So I'm like that GPS. You know what it's in your DNA. It's in your intuition. I'm just confirming what you always knew. Man. Just do it, you know. I'm saying. So that's the first book. That's the first numerology book.
I told y'all, man. King Simon, he already got the mic on fire, man.
Hey, I'm used to this thing.
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir. King Simon, man, you said something that was so powerful too about numbers always being in the Bible.
Yeah, man.
Numerology, always seeing it, Quran, everything, right? So when Christians or people who could be super religious somewhat, they could say, "Oh, I don't mess with that," but then it's all throughout the Bible. And then 666 as well. Can you please break that down?
Well, in 666, what's so interesting about that? From a numerologist perspective, we don't look at it. Remember, there's different systems and different interpretation. Now, if you're coming from a religious point of view, of course, they say 666 is the number of man and beast. It didn't just say number of the beast. It's the number of man and the beast. And if you look at it from a more deeper metaphysic perspective, you'll see that if it's the number of man and beast, look at the word God and dog. Because man can strive to be like a God-like figure, but yet they can revert to a lower beast level and do beastly things. Wow. God and dog. Same word, just back and forth. We're not thinking about that. It's just like Satan and Santa.
Good and evil. Wow.
It's like, really? Wow. Really? Wow. Satan and Santa? Wow. Now, think about that. So we got to be careful of the phonetics of what's going on, the wordplay that they play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when Christians are coming from what they've been taught through the biblical, you got to remember every book that you ever read was written by a man. Or somebody who is human that interpreted for his. Now, they did slip in some of the universal principles, so most of the universal principles are compilations of what they stole from here and stole from India, stole from Timbuktu, or stole from Kemet, or stole from Egypt. Those are just compilations. And then they created what we call a Bible, which is the Biblios, Holy Bible, the Helios Biblios, which is, Helios really means sun, the sun book. It's an astrological book if you study it. Wow. But people are not. Then 666 could be proton, neutron, and electrons. They got all those science going on. But when a numerologist look at the 666, so let's tell me, like saying like you're born on June 6, 1966. Now people will say, "Oh, that was
the spawn to say that was
that's Satan, Jesus Christ. I'm afraid of him." They put all the crosses and the figures up. I'm like, Lord have mercy. See, once we unlearn and relearn, that's the problem. We need to unlearn what we was taught through colonialism, slavery, and what was taught through those years, and relearn our ancient science beyond that, because our history don't start in slavery. Yeah. It starts as, even if everybody was not a king and queen in history, or pharaoh and whatever. But if you was even working, you could have been the royal plumber. You could have been the royal electrician. Yeah. You could have been the royal this. You could have been the royal that. Yeah. But yet, because it's a part of you and your history of what we did and built in history and time, which has been proven over time, scientifically and otherwise, we got to recognize that when numbers like this are appearing, especially in the religious dynamic, religious people just got to learn to look beyond what they've been taught and stretch their mind to a deeper level. Or I tell you, Brother Caleb, I don't dog out religion, because I've been through it. I've been through Christianity. Yes, I've been through Rasta. Yeah. I've been through 5%. I've been through Islam. I've been through all these different religions. Right. So wherever a person is, I have to respect that, because that's what made them who they are if they're becoming better.
That's right.
You know, my father was on drugs years ago, coming coming out of the Marines and all that, and came on drugs, smoking cigarette and all that. And then I was in the Nation of Islam, and I'm just telling this story just to relate. I was in the Nation of Islam, and at that time, I had an attaché case and dressed to the T, ran into my father, pillaging through my grandmother's house, his mother's house, to get money to go buy drugs.
Wow.
And when I shocked him.
Wow.
And I said, Pops, you say you believe in Jesus, but Jesus was no punk. If you want to get off of this, then follow what Jesus says. Was Jesus a drug addict? Was Jesus a this? And I was saying all that to him. And you know, my father went back to his new wife that he's with now and actually got help just because his son told him.
You inspired
and
him.
I inspired him. Although I was in the Nation of Islam, under Islam, I inspired him to go become now he's a Christian minister, been clean for 40 years and doing his thing.
Wow.
And that's what we have to learn to understand, to give guidance. Religion is just one of the armors of God. I'm looking into the camera for a reason.
Yes,
the
sir.
religion is just one of the armors of God. But if you're willing to put on more different armors, whether you study in astrology, numerology, remember astrology and numerology, although they dog it out in the King James Version or the Rogers Version or the Jehovah Witness Version, those are just versions, and those things have been interpreted out of the original language, whether it's Amharic, Hebrew, Arabic, whatever you might call it. But remember, they're compilations, and then they sprinkle their own biases inside of it. You got to understand that. And that's what we're forgetting. So why they don't want us to study astrology or numerology or tarot? Because it puts the impetus on us to do for self and be responsible, and we can't just throw it to Jesus or throw it to Muhammad or throw it to Moses. Held accountable.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We got to learn to be held accountable. And because like it says in the Bible, in Psalms 82, verse 6, it says, ye are gods, children of the Most High God, and ye shall die like men. But if you study the Hebrew language, Elo or Elohim is two different. One is singular and one is a plural. So you got to understand that. So English can never really explain the purity of original pure language, going back to the Hebrew text or going back to the Aramaic text or going back to the Amharic text. They can't explain that because in certain language, there's never even a word for jail.
Wow.
There was never even a word for jail in certain. There wasn't a word for homes for old folks because the village or the community took care of their old and their young. That's why we had doulas for birth and transitional doulas for people dying.
Transitional doulas.
Yes, you preparing them to die.
Wow.
So they can die in a healthy way because birth, when a woman and beautiful like your queen might give birth, you got to remember it's not labor, it's a celebration. And like Dr. Africa, the late great Dr. Layla Africa, born on January the 27th, said, when man and a woman becomes pregnant, the whole family is pregnant. The man, the woman, and the family on both sides is pregnant, waiting for the celebration to come to, praying with the drums, praying for because we know at that point when the woman gives birth, and that mathematics starts to show when they're born, but that when they're birthed, there's a transition between both the child and the woman. They're both going through something. It's a ring of fire that's happened. Either the mother can die or the child can die. At that point, especially if it's a vaginal birth, because it's a very excruciating thing, not just for the woman, but imagine the child's head being squeezed through there. We're not even thinking about the child. So this is two people that can die at that moment.
Wow.
And we're not thinking. So it's so important. That's why I honor birthdays. We don't praise birthday. We understand the honoring of birthdays or born days. It's a mother's birthing day. It's actually a mother and father's birthing day, but the woman goes through the physical act of it. The man is supposed to be right there supporting with the celebratory act of it. And that's why in certain European societies, they'll smoke a big cigar after they have a boy and all that kind of stuff, a big ass cigar, because having a boy represents manhood, according to them. But did you know the Arabs used to bury girl children before they became Muslim, because it was Prophet Muhammad that took that stuff away from that, the ignorance that they had. But it was the Arabs that used to bury girl children before they were born. When they knew they were going to have a child, they would kill the girl child and bury because they felt it was dishonorable to have a boy before a girl.
Wow.
This is the Arabs when they was under the state of Jahiliyyah, what they call the state of ignorance, until Prophet Muhammad came. Quote unquote, they say he was a black prophet. They don't even want to identify, but because he was coming from Bilal, who was Ethiopian and all that, there's a whole big thing about that. The color. That's why they never want to tell the color or the complexion of Prophet Muhammad. But in the state of Jahiliyyah, and they was doing some madness.
Wow.
So we got, I mean, I know we're going off of something else, but
no. Hey, we having a great conversation. Yeah, we're
just flowing. But
that's
it's
it.
just to show you how the mathematics work, because everything that happened had a season, has a time, has a pattern, has a cycle. And so we pay attention as numerologists.
Yes, sir.
As a numerovator that I am, I pay attention to the cycles, seasons, and the sequences of life. But also, you got to remember, in order for something to become a scientific studies, it has to be repeatable, it has to be observable, and it has to be measurable over time. That's how we know it worked. That's why I've studied. Lloyd Strayhorn, one of my teachers, I always big him up because he's one of my teachers. Wow. He's one of the people that inspired me to take that leap of belief out and put in the belief of the leap of knowing, because knowledge is to know.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we strive with the numbers, to help know each other better, to help navigate better, because doing numerology or astrology is helping you to navigate better. When you do astrology, you're learning the longitude and the latitude and longitude of a person coming through that womb at that particular time. That's why astrologers need to know the time of birth. They need to know the day of birth. They need to know where you were born. You can't just, because it's different if you're born in Jamaica than being born in New York. It's different than being born in Canada, in certain parts of Canada, and being born. All of that matters, especially when it deals with astrology. But I stay within the numbers, because numbers give me as a consultant a bird's eye view of what's supposed to be happening in your life at this time and where you need to go with it, so you don't go down the negative route of it. So, my brother, I mean, I could keep on going. It's your show, Brother Caleb.
King Simon, I'm just sitting back, soaking up some game, listening. Listen, man, listen to your elders. God gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason.
Yeah, man, it is.
So, look, I'm here. King Simon,
yes, sir.
Recently, man, I've been seeing 444 a lot.
Yes.
I know Sid, she's been seeing it, friends, family. So, is that a good thing? And then 2, what can we grasp, I can say, from seeing 444s or the 555s, 1111s?
That's interesting that you said that, because I'm about to come out with a book in 2022.
Wow.
Which is 222.
Yeah.
I'm about to come out with a book called The Numerovation of Angles. The Numerovation of Angles of Life. That's what it's called, the Numerovational Angles of Life. And angles is just like what they've been quoting for the so-called, quote-unquote, New Age as angel numbers. But if you look at the word angel and angles, it's the same word.
Interesting.
It's just that you, again, playing games with our language. Yeah. And of course, that whole New Age thing. And I want to address people that think New Age is some new pseudo. No, it's not that it's a pseudo thing, because anything that Greece didn't understand or Rome didn't understand, they call it pseudo. It means false.
Yeah.
Anything they understand. So when they went into African culture and didn't understand how to build the pyramids, they still trying to build it.
Wow.
It should still be pseudo, but it's not pseudo because it's there.
Yeah.
So we already proved that our ancestries have done it. Even if they want to put them out of space, that's our ancestry that went out of space, left here, did what they had to do, and moved, like Billy Carson would tell you. So, but getting back to that word, I want people to understand that if you got to realize that everybody's culture have something different. I know if I went into Jewish culture, you'll find something different that I didn't understand.
Right.
Do I shun it and it's become pseudo? So
it's not your place.
It's not. It's up to you to go and study. If I go into the Italian realm, although that's coming from Moors and all that kind of stuff, if I went into the Italian, but there's certain things about the mafia and the Italians, they're separate, because some Italians don't like when people are calling them mafiosos, because some people didn't support the mafia.
Cosa Nostra.
Cosa Nostra. Yeah. So if you don't support, should I call it false because that person, that part of Italy didn't support it, or this part of Italy didn't support it, or they didn't believe in it, what have you. Yeah. So when you deal with the numbers like 444 or 222 or 333, if you start, remember, angel numbers are sequence or synchronicity numbers or messenger numbers. are numbers that you constantly see on a regular basis. It constantly popping up. So anytime you see a 444, not only does that deals with communication, does that deals with being clear in your communication and whatever you do, dotting every I and crossing every T, but it's also one of those numbers of working hard and laying a firm foundation, not just physical, but also spiritual. Because everything has its duality in this realm and the other realm.
That's right.
So you got to understand that 444 means you better get your backside on another higher level by putting in that hard work, by being able to clearly communicate. And because 444 adds up to 12, which is a 3, that 1 and that 2 represents be creative, be compassionate about what you do, finding balance. And the 3 says you will expand after you grow out of studying all that. Now, you got other systems that will go even deeper, like gematria. You might have systems that might talk about it from another level where it can get kind of morbid sometimes, because sometimes people get afraid of it. That's why I try to stay in the numerovational path of it. That's why I wrote the book, Numerovation for Mental Stability.
Right.
It's all on Amazon. All my books are on
Yes, sir.
Amazon.
Let 'em know.
And it says numerovation, numero, coming from the Latin or the old Latin meaning numbers, vation coming from motivation, using numbers to motivate you. That's all it means. I just put it in the lexicon dictionary, so it should be showing up in the next 5 years, because that's when that's how they rehatch. In 5 to 10 years, they rehatch and put, like they got bootylicious in the dictionary right now. Yes, it's simple. You know what I'm saying? So a doctor friend helped me to put it in the lexicon dictionary, and it's numerovation for mental stability, a numerovational guide to recognizing mental instability and staying motivated, because a lot of stuff been going on. So when you start seeing these double numbers, or even if you see one number constantly, or 000 or 55510, each one of them, look at them from the interpretation of what they mean from a high and low level, or what people call positive and negative, and then add heightened energy to it, because anytime you see doubling or tripling numbers, it's heightening what that first single digit numbers represent, but it's also heightening not only on a physical, but again on a spiritual perspective. So anytime you've seen, if you're seeing it over and over again, it's just reminding you, of course, because it adds up to a 12, which is a 3, you're in the right field. That's one thing it is. But make sure you got all your affairs in order.
Yes, sir.
Make sure all your stuff is going right. Make sure all your legal ramifications are right also. Make sure everything is legal, because 4 rules the legal world alongside the number 8.
Wow.
And it's that number of mental, keeping your mind right in the midst of whatever's happening in this world. Keep your mind on a higher level. And because it adds up to that 12, which is a 3 is the number of optimism. Number of higher thinking, higher level of optimism, higher level of being joyous and joyful and jovial in whatever you do. So don't let the mental energies outside of you destroy your inside. And like Les Brown would say, one of my great teachers would say, he says the enemy within is the one that can be the most destructive. That enemy that you hold inside and destroy you from the inside, because that the outside enemy is not dangerous. It's really the enemy within you that keeps us down and shuts us down and keep us not doing what we want to do. Suppose you never did what you wanted to do in this, you wouldn't have the podcast that you have. You probably wouldn't even have the woman you got. If you were shy and to yourself and didn't want to talk to nobody and wanted to be under a rug, make no sense. So those numbers are very significant, and that's why I'm writing that book, because angles, to me, angels are angles in life that you can take. Whether you take the high road or the low road, I'm going to break down each number from 0 to 999, break down each one of those numbers and show them the high road, the low road, and the numbers of complacency. And again, comfort is the enemy of progress. Never, and we talk to those young people out there, never be satisfied with where you are. Be grateful. This is what Bob Proctor said. Never be satisfied. Be grateful. Because it's the unsatisfied that created the phone. It's the unsatisfied that stopped us from doing candlelight reading, and now we have incandescent light. It's the unsatisfied that stopped us from doing horse and buggies and doing boat rides across all the way from America to Africa or Africa to America, and that we're flying now.
Yes, sir.
Unsatisfied. Never be grateful. Never be satisfied, but be grateful for where you're at, always. I'm just talking to my younger brothers and sisters out there.
It's
really.
the unsatisfied who wrote these books as
Like,
well.
yeah, I was unsatisfied with what's going on in this world.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
right? And you need to write your book, and
Yes,
she
sir.
needs to write her book.
Yes, sir.
He might need to write his
Yes,
book.
sir.
You
Most
never know,
definitely
because everybody is a walking book.
Yeah, that's it.
This is the book of life.
That's
You
beautiful.
are the book of life. Whatever you've encountered from the time you came out of your mama womb and your daddy's nutsack, you are that book of life. You need to write your book or take notes on what are the patterns that you're attracting. What are the relationships are you attracting? Are they wholesome? Are they healthy? Are they this? And that's what we do as numerovators, to help put you on your right path. As the GPS, the guiding positioning system, which was founded by a beautiful black woman named Miss Gladys May, born in 1930. I don't know the actual birthday, but 1930 adds up to number 4, which deals with technology.
Speak about that. Yes, sir.
So it is what it is.
Wow. Y'all see it, man. King Simon's something serious. King Simon as well, till this day, you just spoke about it as well. The pyramids, people marvel at it.
Yes.
It's still standing. What type of sophisticated mathematics went into that, numerology, when it comes to studying the stars,
But that's,
astrology, all that?
mathematics is physical and spiritual.
Wow.
So those particular, I'm not going to claim that I know that particular science, but in order for any edifice like that to be built, those people had to be mathematicians. For anybody to build the temples, remember, there's more temples and pyramids in Sudan and Ethiopia than it is in Kemet.
That's a fact.
See, Dr. Ben spoke about it. Dr. John Henry Clark spoke about it. Anthony Browder spoke about it. Matter of fact, big up to Hoppy and the whole Hoppy family that's doing their big documentaries. So I'm telling you that those things, and those are replicas of our ancient history that's in our bloodline. They tried to claim it. Other people try to claim it, but you gotta, if you look on the walls, it's already telling you who built it. They're telling you who it is.
Homer, he told you as well what the people look like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, that science is a deeper science, to the point that even Japan tried to do it, and then that pyramid fell.
Wow.
Whatever they tried to do, it just went to the ground.
Wow.
Because that's why it's called the wonder of the world, because they still wondering how they did it.
That's right. Man, that is amazing. King
It's
Simon
a beautiful
dropping
thing,
gems.
man.
How do we start embracing studying numerology again and numbers, and getting in touch with people like yourself as well?
Well, just remember the word numerology, like anything else that ends with an ology, means the study of something. Biology, zoology, psychology. It's different studies. Numerology just simply means the study of numbers, and the study of numbers come in multiple levels. Whether you're doing calculus, whether you're doing geometry, whether you're doing trigonometry, whether you're doing adding, subtracting, because in numerology that engulfs all of that.
Right.
It's just that I do something from an esoteric and spiritual level to give people guidance through the numbers that is connected to their birthdays and their names, because numerology is the only system that transposes letters into numbers, which Pythagorean, which is the their founding father, promoted, but he knew where he got it from. He knew where he got it from, because this was already taught in the lands of Egypt and of course the Indus Valley and all that stuff. So it's already been taught. It's just that he took it, refined it for himself, and I never disrespect Pythagoras. I can't. But I always got to go to the Chaldeans, which was of darker hue black folks that lived off the coast of Egypt, that had their form of mystical numerology that even if you gave me a fake name, you picked that name out because it resonated with you for some reason. That's why. Even the name your name of the show, 3 is one of your power numbers, and of course she's born on the 21, which is a 3.
Crazy.
That's her power number.
Wow.
Go figure. Who would choose that? It's in your head, because we resonate with things that we're connected to. That's why when you start seeing patterns and cycles and sequences of numbers popping up, look at your phone number. It tells you certain things. The day you were born reminds you you'll be surprised how you would find certain pivotal points of your life that it happened on the numbers that was connected to you. You'd be surprised when you start really analyzing. Because when I analyzed, I was like, wow, damn, this happened at 10, this happened at...
It's adding up.
Now I see. But you got to see. And some people are not willing to dive that deep into the rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole. But is it a bad rabbit hole or a good hole? Rabbit hole. People can take it for what it is. Aleister Crowley took it for his purpose, whatever negative way. The United States government have taken the number 4 and all these different. I mean, look. I mean, think about the celebration of July 4th. Matter of fact, I wrote it in my book about that whole number 4.
Check it out.
It's in this book, but it's also in one of my teacher's books on Lloyd Strayhorn, which people, if you pay attention to the number 4 on what people, especially this society, have done with the number 4. Here it is. It says the pattern of the number 13 in the U.S. history. United States began with 13 colonies. The first flag had 13 stars and stripes. There were 13 signers of the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was signed signed at 300 Locust Street in Philadelphia. 1300 Locust Street in Philadelphia. Then it says below is a few numbers that's connected to the number 4. It says U.S. presidents are elected every 4 years. The original swearing-in date of U.S. presidents was the 4th of March, and then they changed it. Wow. And then Congress elects its members every 4 years. The deadlines of tax returns is usually on the 4th month of the year, March, April. Wow. So you got to pay attention to the little nuances that they use in this number 4. But yet they try to tell you that 13 is something to be afraid of.
Friday the 13th.
Friday 13th, but some people do not build buildings up to the 13th floor. I have been in buildings in New York City that will go up to the 12th and skip to the 14th. Wow. Because of the fear. I forgot the word, that the fear of the 13, but that fear of that 13. And I can see where the fear of 13, because during that time, there was, in the 1300s, there was massive wars going on, especially to fight the Moors, to stop them from being who they are and doing what they do. You know, because the Moors was building and doing all kinds of stuff. They built Spain, they built Europe, they built this, they built that. They built those castles out there.
Yes, sir. Still standing.
And still standing. Matter of fact, one of the great billionaire motivators, he lives in a castle. Daniel Pina. He's born August the 10th.
Okay.
Daniel Pina. He lives in a castle. He didn't build that.
That's above a mansion.
That's way above a mansion. So the way you get in contact with people like me is either through websites and through my website is kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Or you can buy any of my books and all that stuff and go to my YouTube channels via the linktree /King Simon, the numerovator. That's King Simon, the numerovator. If you don't know how to spell numerovator, that's Numerovator. The numerovator. I created a new word, and now, like I said, we're putting it in the lexicon dictionary. We're doing what we had. It's in the Urban Dictionary already. Is because we need to continue to create, because even in our worst times, we were creating things.
Yeah, we're still going.
In slavery, we was creating things. And all those, we was creating egg beaters and toilet bowls and all that kind of stuff. I remember Paul Mooney said something. He said, yeah, black folks created the toilet and made it white on purpose. That's what he said. Paul Mooney's a comedian, but that's what he said. I started laughing, because during that time, if they created toilet bowls during slavery, that means they was definitely something in their mind was against the slave master. They created a porcelain white toilet bowl.
That's the only way that they can fight back.
That's the only way they could fight back. The thinking of that mentality. So that was some funny stuff.
Wow.
when Paul said that. I remember that show too. He's hilarious.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Nah, you good, King Simon. I'm chilling. Earlier, you spoke about the book of Numbers. You broke that down.
Yes,
that was dope.
briefly,
If you can you further just break that down some more about how, you set a bar about how pastors don't really talk about the book of Numbers.
They don't, because they stay in the New Testaments and they stay in the Revelations. And it's cool. I respect whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
But we have to remember, when I studied theology, I'm also an ordained minister in 2 different systems, actually, in multiple systems. But I don't talk about it. I do have my license carrying clergy. I got my license. But what's so interesting about that is that they keep you in the fear of things when it comes to certain religions, instead of the prosperity, because you could go in the Bible and get anything out of it, because so many things happened. It was not just one tribe. It's not just Israel. You have the Midianites, you have the Canaanites, you had all kinds. So imagine if all these people must have had a book. We don't know. but yet we know there's lost books of the Bible. You know, the original 72 books, 72 books is in the Catholic Church, and then they have 66 books after they did the whole translation.
Yeah.
I will never try to take religion away from anybody in its purity.
Right.
Because in its purity, all religious people are one. All religion. If you're a Hebrew, that means Hebrew, they say it comes from the word Ibri, which means to cross over. If you're a Christian, that means you're crystallized in the oneness of God, following the example of Christ. If you're a Muslim, that means you are one who is of peace, following the laws and the peaceful laws of God. All of that is good titles.
That's right.
It's nothing negative.
That's right.
But not one war was ever fought in the name of astrology or numerology.
Ah, man.
But there's been more wars and fighting and destruction in religious wars, crusades and all that. But it's not, and I won't say that numbers in astrology wasn't used.
Right. That's true.
Because
Yeah.
people like Hitler used astrologers.
Wow. I never knew that.
His astrologer was named Hitler. His name was really not Hitler. So people got to go back and go study that. But he studied astrologers. Then some of the astrologers defected and went to America. And all that kind of. So there's all this type of. J.P. Morgan used the astrologers.
Wow.
Reagan's wife.
I heard about that. I heard about that. Yeah, I did hear about that.
But anytime if the president has over 300 advisors, one of the advisors is one that deals with one of the powers, which is astrology and numerology. Matter of fact, I didn't even bring that book. I have a book written by a man named Michael Brill. Good guy. Good guy. I even have his workbook because I study everybody. I study Chinese, I study Japanese numerology, I study all of it. He used to work for NASA. Wow. He got it in the back of his book. He worked for NASA. And he was a numerologist working for NASA. And he's worked there for 10 years. According to the back of his books. And in the aerial science and aerospace science, numbers are used in all these different types of things. And he was one of those numerologists that were there in whatever capacity, whether doing numbers or calculating or computation, or whatever he was doing, he put it in the back of his book to say, this is what he did. And as a numerologist, and he came up with something called cosmic numerology because of his stay inside of NASA. I mean, it's the proof is out there. It's just that if you don't get stuck on the book, just realize that one book, whether it's Quran or Bible, it's your spiritual guiding to keep you at a humble and peaceful state. I understand that. But you can't find everything in those books. It's just like, how would you learn how to do computer technology in a Bible? Which scripture can you go to do NFT or do Bitcoin?
Yeah.
What scripture? Yeah. People say, oh, everything is in the Bible. No, everything ain't. Now, every human condition might be in the Bible, from death and rape, molestation, homosexual, all of that stuff might be in there. Because God killed many people in that Bible. But if you want to find out how to do what we're doing in the new millennia, right? 3 millennia, we got to do what you got to do, because they wasn't doing this in this way. They were doing it another way. Yeah. But you got to
hit up King Simon. That's what you need him for.
Hit me up. Yeah. I do. I usually do text messages too. If people want to text me their full name and date of birth. I do have a long waiting list, but if you're patient, I can definitely help you. But because I can definitely do a service for you. I got people from Germany calling me. Since I did people like Brother Rich's show and Billy Carson, big up to those two, Sinetta's TV, and of course my own show.
Classics.
And I've been getting hit up from people in Africa, Germany, China. I've been people hit up because, again, numerology is not here to control you. It's here to guide you.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes some people just need a reminder smack in their ass, or a reminder smack in their head to remind them, yo, I was born with the mathematics to do some great things. Why not work towards it? And it's not microwave. A lot of the young millennials out there think it's microwave. You didn't come out your mama's womb microwave. You didn't come out that fast.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a process. All the people you see on all the great people that you see singing and performing, they built up to that. And then somebody supported that, and then all of us supported that. Whether you watch Dave Chappelle, whether you watch what Puffy did, what Tupac did, and all that kind of stuff, they all built up to that and put in that work. And now it's easier to reach the world, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet. It's easy to reach the world now through social media, through Instagram, through TikTok. You can throw up one TikTok and about 100,000 up there real quick. So you have the age of Happy, the age of Aquarius at your hands. And those that are under the sign of Aquarius and Leo, pay attention. This is one of your good numbers. This is one of your good signs, because the Leo is the complement to the Aquarian energy. And we're tipping the Aquarian age of technology and rebel energy and all the stuff that's been going on. Bob Marley is a clear example, who is an Aquarian, born February 6th, clear example of the Aquarian age, the things that he sang, the things that he promoted, the things that he talked about. Clear example of the Aquarian age. So pay attention in this age, because it's not a new age. It's an ancient age that's been talked about for 26,000 years, and now it's just coming back into its cycle again.
It's beautiful.
It's a good. We're in a good time. I don't care what's going on out there. I really don't. I really don't, because whatever's coming and whatever they say is coming and whatever they're saying coming, the impetus is for you to keep your mind and mentality at a higher level, because where you're behind, where your mind will go, your behind will follow.
That's beautiful.
That's what the In Vogue used to sing back in the day.
That's true.
Free your mind and the rest will follow. Be colorblind, don't be so shallow. You gotta find balance, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with all of that. So and also wanted to talk about my children's book.
Please, let's talk about all that.
This is my children's book, and it's called Numbers Are Simple. Children's Health is Important. Basic Health Guide for Children and Adults, how to use the Earth Day or birthday to help the family. Now, this deals with health, because numerology can help you, guide you to understand what's the possible health problems you can attract to you with a certain amount of numbers that you're connected to. So, and that's why I wrote this book from a simple perspective. And then in the back of the book, I put in the certain websites and certain recommended reading in back of all my books that you can recommendedly read and find if you want to go into deeper studies. But this points out all the numbers from 1 to 31, because in the Gregorian calendar, every month goes from 1 to either 30 or 1 to 20, 39, 31, except February, of course. But that's due to Julius and Augustus. That's a whole nother craziness. We ain't going there. That's crazy. But that's ego. That was a negative of the ego. So that's why I laugh at Julius and Augustus. I will put my calendar at there and name it July. And I will put my calendar and call it Augustus. This was ego.
Yeah. I'm gonna name a month.
Because it was 10 months, and from the Kemetic philosophy of the system, and then when Greece and Rome got it, it just went into all kind of other stuff. It is what it is. They want to make an imprint. Am I angry at them? No. I'm angry at what has happened as far as the destruction of other people to propel their energy. But it's not like they couldn't have lived in together, but when you have people that comes out of certain mountains with a barbarous attitude, that's why I love the book Barbarism by Sheikh Anta Diop, the Civilization of Barbarism, where it tells you about where those mountainous people in the Caucasus Mountains that did what they had to do, the whole caveman theory of beating your woman and having sex with her and all that, and wearing fur on you just to get the fleas off, killing animals, wearing fur just to get the fleas off of you. This goes back in time into those mountains. So we gotta, in Europe, in those European mountains. So it's very important that we study, not in the sense of hatred of anybody. Don't create no hate. Have understanding, because the more you have knowledge of the world and other people, then you'll know where you're supposed to be in this world, where you're placed in this world. I remember one time I was at Brooklyn College in Brooklyn, keep a long story short, and this guy from out of Greece named Marco. His name was Marco. So Marco, I'm there at Starbucks, sitting down drinking my tea. And I'm typing and I'm watching the students and the students are talking and Marco come in, oh, Greece is the greatest civilization, the first greatest civilization. And I said to Marco, I beg your pardon. And because these children were letting them do that because they don't know.
Wow.
And I went online, I showed them where the first civilization, and it said it was right in Africa. It was showing them right there. And I said, look where Greece and Rome is. Look right here, and look where we says, don't play with me. I said, don't play with these children's mind because you want your ego to be, you know, and he wants to have sex with black women. He wants to be the greatest wavy here. My name is Marco. Marco Polo. Whatever. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tomato.
Right.
But I had to show him and shut down the whole of Starbucks. All the children was like, you know, thank you. I went into Nama. I went into all that. I started showing. I said, don't let people do that. I know that there's a game because those who won the war rewrote the book. Those who won the war rewrote the book in their favor that they are over everything. And that is not the case when you start going back and start peeling that onion and start seeing that the onion start making you cry now. Because now you're peeling the onions and feeling like, yo, we've been lied to. Why they lied? What was the whole Renaissance and the 1,000 years in darkness and all that? What was that?
Ages,
What was they hiding? What did they buried under the Roman Church and in Vatican? What are they buried? Why do you have 5 miles of library under there? Hidden of what? Why are they selling people's sarcophagus or their dead remains from Kemet and Egypt and all over these places? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Why are they parading our bodies all over the place and won't give it back? You got to, young people, study. I don't care whether you're white, black, Chinese, whatever. You need to study and find out where you are in his story or our story and stop making it a mystery. Find out, because my story is mystery. That's what that word is, really. Our story is what they turned into a mystery and hid it from us and then use all the scientists from it. The books are out there. White scientists are telling you this. White doctors are telling you this. European doctors, Asian doctors, Michio Kaku and the rest of them, they're all saying it. But we got to listen. So, brothers and sisters.
Man.
I know.
Yes, sir. That was beautiful.
Be like red pill.
No, you good. That's powerful.
Ready to talk.
Yeah, hey, that's a good
my
thing.
Boy, red and blue.
Man, King Simon, we appreciate you so much, man, for your time. Before we bounce, get out of here, where can everybody follow you, keep up with your books, your work, everything?
Again, King Simon Productions on Instagram, King Simon Prod on Twitter, King Simon Production on Facebook, King Simon on Facebook. Also, you could also hit me up on my link tree. My link tree leads to all my YouTube channels. I have 2 YouTube channels, King Simon Presents. And tomorrow I have I don't know when this is going up, but tomorrow I have Professor James Smalls on my YouTube. I have multiple people coming up on my YouTube, and I got a menopause teacher that's going to be breaking down about menopause for women, because a lot of women are suffering in menopause when in actuality you can be a goddess in the menopause stages, because what happens was Priestess Yendez is going to break down on Nicki Minaj's birthday, December 8th.
Wow.
And Sammy Davis Jr.'s birthday the same day, and Flip Wilson. Those people born the same day. She's going to break down, and this is directed to not just women, but it's directed to men who wants to understand their women when they're going through this, because some of them are going through it at an early age before they even reach 50. Some of them are going through it at 40s. Yeah. So because of the unbalance right now that's going on in their bodies. So tune in to King Simon Presents on YouTube, known as KSP, with me and my team members, Sister Sojourney, and of course Sensei Shirley. And then of course tune into my other YouTube channel, the Numerovation Nation, or the Ministry of Numerovation, where I teach numbers and spiritual stuff only on that channel if you want to go to the numbers. And I do have courses. I have a part course that's going up on Udemy by January. It's going to be going up on Udemy soon. So that you'll be able to purchase my course, and it'll be translated in multiple languages, breaking down holistic numerovation and how to use the numbers to motivate you and guide you to be your very best. And again, if you do want to text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's the phone number. That's my business line, 347. Text me. Do not call me. 347-496-1022. And remember, after these interviews, I usually have a list, so please be patient. If you do text and you pay, because I require people to pay first before I set the schedule, and then we move on from there. But I guarantee you, I will definitely help you expand your mind, and also it helps explode your DNA if you are open-minded to it. I'm not here with a skeptic. I'm not here to debate you. I'm not into all that foolishness.
Yes, sir.
Stay one love, one aim, one destiny. Thank you, 3 Millennia. Thank you for all your staff here, and all the great people, the team, the family team.
Family team.
This is what this is, and it's 3 of them.
Yes,
so
sir.
that's how this thing works. So,
Yes,
you know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much.
Man, we appreciate you. Again, shout out to Village Gemz, man. Support
Village
them.
Gemz, that's right.
Miss Jasmine, King Simon, all of his books.
Let me give an address. An address is
please,
978 Main Street, 978A Main Street, right here in Stone Mountain Village in Stone Mountain. So support them. She also do open mics. She also do karaoke nights here. All this is hers, and all the stuff that they're gonna show you on the take is theirs too. All right.
Yes.
Thank
Show
you.
love, y'all. Make
love.
sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Follow King Simon, Village Gemz as well. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace.